This book is full of great ideas to get you journaling. And writing in a journal is the perfect tool to enhance both learning and creativity. After all, writing is a creative endeavor that first requires a bit of learning. Using a journal supports that learning so our writing can become our next unique creation. Let's start with learning. Learning involves practice. The writer's journal provides a perfect place to practice learning to write. Writing practice isn't only about words and phrases, it's also about emotions. It's common to associate thinking with learning. However, the learning process is driven by emotion. Think of learning as feel, move, think. The first thing that happens when we learn is a feeling. Once our senses receive information, the brain's amygdala determines how we feel about it. If we feel positive, the amygdala produces chemicals that move thinking into areas associated with learning and creativity. If the stimuli feels negative, different chemicals are produced and thinking moves to the fight and flight areas of our brain. Once our thinking moves to the appropriate brain area, the final step of the learning process occurs and we become aware of our thinking. A positive learning experience will cause us to lean into learning. We get curious, we wonder, we pay attention. On the other hand, a negative learning experience causes us to move away, to shut down, to feel frustrated. Research demonstrates that our brains are learning all the time, and optimal learning is supported by positive emotions. Now let's consider creativity. Once we learn, our brains love to use our learning to create something new. Our creativity uses what we learn to form new ideas, solve problems, gain a friend, or create a piece of writing. Learning and creativity go hand in hand, and they are both supported by positive emotions. Once we learn, our brains use what we learn to create. While our brains are being creative, we refine our learning. This process creates new learning that'll be available for our next creations. But what if we're feeling overly negative? First, let's be clear. Negative feelings are important. We need them to navigate the world, but they can and do get in the way of learning and creativity. So, how can you move through negative emotions? It turns out that journaling can help. Journaling about those negative emotions helps our brains to process them and to feel better. Once we feel positive, journals provide a place to play and practice writing. Daily journal writing can provide both writing practice and a place to gather original ideas for future writing. So, whether it's learning to write, writing about emotions, or creating something new, journaling is a great tool for both learning and creativity.